My wife cheated. Saying it aloud still feels unreal. The kind of sentence you never imagined belonging to your life. You think that happens to other people, not to you. But it happened to me. It happened to our marriage, to the 10 years I believed in. I learned the truth in the worst possible way. An unlocked phone, a chain of messages, lines no one should ever have to read. Last night was amazing. I can't wait for next time. 10 words that evaporated a decade of love. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She shrugged and said flatly, I haven't loved you in a long time. No apology, no tears, just that cold admission that hurt more than the affair itself. I left that night, keys in hand. I drove until I stopped feeling like the air was closing in and ended up at my office. At first, I told myself staying late was temporary, a way to get through a tough patch. But temporary became routine. Long nights, fluorescent lights, spreadsheets spread out like a nest. The work was barren, but at least numbers didn't lie. At least they didn't betray me. Claire noticed. She was in her mid-40s, sharp, confident, the kind of person who seemed to own every room. One evening she stopped by my cubicle and teased, You planning to camp here forever? Her tone was light, but her eyes were serious. I muttered something about catching up. She didn't push, only said, Complicated has a way of killing people slowly. Don't let it kill you, and walked away. That line landed harder than I expected. A few nights later, she returned with 2 mugs of coffee and set one in front of me. You can either tell me what's going on, or you can drink this and let me sit with you, she offered. I broke, not all at once, but in pieces. I told her about the messages, the betrayal, the hollow feeling that followed me like a shadow. She listened, steady, without pity. When I finished, she looked at me and said, Then she's a fool. And you, she tapped her mug toward me, you're not as broken as you think. For the first time in weeks, someone saw me as more than a failed husband. I felt recognized, not discarded. After that, Claire made sure I wasn't alone. Sometimes it was a cup of coffee in her office. Sometimes she brought Jenna, her assistant, young, bright, quick to laugh. The 3 of us ate takeout, joked about trivial things, and slowly the office stopped feeling like an escape and started feeling like a place that could hold me. It wasn't romance at first. It was rescue. It was connection that didn't ask me to pretend I was okay. One night, after Jenna left, Claire and I stayed behind. The city lights smeared across her window. We sat in silence with our coffee until she said quietly, You can't keep punishing yourself for what she did. I stared at my hands and admitted, I don't know who I am without her. Claire leaned in, her voice firm but kind. Then find out. There was a challenge in her words. Not cruelty, not pity, but an insistence that I reclaim myself. She refused to let me disappear. She rose from her chair, crossed the office, and asked me, Come with me instead. She didn't mean an affair. She meant life. I followed. We walked the city for hours, through empty streets, talking about everything and nothing. For the first time since my world fell apart, I felt like more than a label. I felt like someone being rebuilt. Weeks became months. My wife tried to come back. Apologies, tears. Pleased that she'd made a mistake. Maybe once I would have believed it. But I remembered Claire's invitation. Come with me instead. I realized I deserved more than secondhand love and cheap promises. I told her no. When I hung up, the silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was relief. Claire and Jenna didn't save me in some dramatic way, but they reminded me I was worth saving. They showed me that betrayal doesn't have the last word. What matters is how you respond afterward. My wife's affair was how the story began. How it ends is my choice. I chose to move forward.